Ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurs and dreamers, get ready for the most exciting event in networking, the Bright Ideas Show. Join us for an electrifying evening filled with innovation, inspiration, and excitement as we showcase the brightest minds in business today, right here in Central Indiana. Get ready to be dazzled by incredible speakers who will ignite your entrepreneurial spirit with their game-changing ideas and insightful wisdom. From overcoming obstacles to achieving remarkable success, these speakers will leave you motivated and ready to conquer the world. But wait, there's more. During this show, we'll spotlight INSPIREsmall.biz members and host a thrilling live interview with a special guest randomly selected from our audience. Will it be you? Don't miss your chance to share your story, insights, and aspirations with our enthusiastic crowd. As you arrive, dive into the excitement with open networking, connecting with fellow attendees who share your passion for innovation and entrepreneurship. Then the fun continues at our tables, where leaders help cultivate inspiring conversations while you enjoy delicious food and drinks. So mark your calendar, set your alarms, and prepare to be inspired at the Bright Ideas Show. It's not just an event, it's a celebration of innovation and ambition that you don't want to miss. We'll see you there.
So glad to have you. We have a great crowd tonight, and I am so pleased that every table, almost every table, is full. And because that is what makes the biggest difference for us. When we have full tables, we have a whole variety of people that we can meet, that we can connect with, and we can learn who people are. I want you to know that the most important thing about this evening, and the reason that I work with Ryan to do this work, is because Ryan's mission and goal for this event and the Bright Ideas Show is that we begin doing business with heart, where we begin to know people for who they are, what they like, what they're passionate about their families, not just trading business cards. I'm sure you have all, raise your hand, have you all been to networking meetings where it's just, oh, hi, that's my name, here's my business card, don't you want to do business with me? The thing is, that really doesn't make effective business. What makes effective business is when we can know, like, and trust the people that we want to do businesses, that we can count on to show up. I'll tell you what I love most about the last 3 or 4 months that I've been working with this group and doing all of the little networking and the conversations, the in-depth questions that we're asking people to discuss. I've got 2 new friends. And I've really been wanting to upgrade my friendships. I don't know if any of you have started to learn that you're outgrowing the people in your life because maybe they're not willing to move and grow. I'm ready for new friends. And I've met 2 of them. Yay! I'm so excited. So that's one of the reasons that I am most excited about the work that we do here, is because Ryan's mission is about doing business with heart, bringing love back into our community by caring about the people that we exchange business and business cards with. So that's one thing that I love about it. The next thing that I love about it is that we have speakers who are engaging. Now, the important thing about the speakers, and y'all have to help me tonight, the important thing about the speakers is everybody has a time limit. When that clock, right, it's usually up there, but when that clock gets to the end, it will count down. And when it gets to the end, y'all have to help me and clap them off stage. Now, why do we do that? We do that because what we are asking for is we are asking people to bring the gold, not just a mile-long conversation. I want to know the gold of what happened to you, what you're sharing, what you've learned, what you've grown from. I want the gold, not all the fluff, not the, you know, they used to say, I think there's a quote in the Bible about gathering the wheat and letting the chaff disappear, get blown away. So that's why we have the limits. I want to also let you know that in the next month or 2, we're going to be having auditions. And if you or someone you know would give a really great nugget or 2 of gold, please make sure you follow Ryan and get on the email list and make sure that you know when that next audition is coming. Because our mission is to have the best speakers that we can find in this community and become the Indianapolis version of TED Talks. At least I think that's what we're going for. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. And the next thing that I want to do is introduce you to the man that I really appreciate, respect, and admire. And that's Ryan. Ryan is doing really good work in this community to bring people together. And he's doing it for an affordable price. Sometimes you get involved in networking groups, and honestly, they're lovely and they're great and they do good work, but I can't afford them because I'm still a small business. If you're still a small business and you're still growing, please continue to join us. Our long-term mission is for this room to be so full, we have to go into the next room. And then for that room to be so full that we have to go into the really big room. Because when we have more people to be friends with, more people to do business with, more people to fall in love with for whatever they are and whatever they do. So without any more ado, I want to introduce Ryan Henry.
Well, everyone, good evening. And as I said earlier this evening, this is our first time doing the Bright Ideas show. This is an adaptation. We used this name for a podcast for the last couple of years, and we decided, wait a minute, we're already doing an event where we pack great people into a room, so why don't we call this the Bright Ideas show? Because there's so many good ideas that everyone in this room is sharing with one another. Our speakers that we host every month have good ideas. The people that we meet have good ideas. I don't know about you, but I love meeting someone new and learning about their business and go, that's a really cool idea. They're everywhere. A good idea can come from anybody, whether it's their first day in business or they've been in business for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. It doesn't matter. Everyone has something that anyone else would love to hear about and skills that other people would be happy to pay for, because when we're a community of small business owners, we're doing great things for our community. There's less vacant commercial space because businesses need to expand, and there's more money that's staying in our community, which not only helps our tax base, but it helps make sure that we're able to do things that we enjoy with our friends and our family. And I love that. Seeing and getting to know the people that do all of those things makes it that much more significant. And so the reason why we're doing this event here is because it's a new twist on the concept of networking. As Deanna said a while ago, there's so many networking groups. I do this. This is who I help. No. This event is to get to know who are the human beings behind the business. What makes them tick? Who are the people that they care about? What are the things that they're passionate about? We want to know that because at the end of this event tonight, we're all going to walk out of the door and go back to our lives. But if we've done it right, each of you is going to walk out of this room having made new connections, hopefully set some follow-up appointments with those people that we meet, but also to learn something new that's going to help us be a better professional, a better business owner, and that's what it's all about. So I'm excited to share. All three of our speakers this evening are going to talk about our theme of Emerge, which is perfectly fitting for this event tonight because we're trying something new. Could we fail? Possibly. Is it likely? I hope not. But before we get to those presentations, there's people that I want to thank, and that's our leaders. Jay Ballounis with Angry Ape Creative, Cindy Gardner, Hightower Graphics, who wasn't able to be here tonight. At our production desk here, Pavithri Kilgore, KPSK Consulting, Ray Mills, RM Media, Deanna Moray with the Resenergize Sanctuary, also known as the Shine Coach. And a special thanks to the Northside Events and Social Club for hosting us here. And I'm happy to share with you guys that beginning with this event tonight, we're going to be able to re-air it on WITT-FM, which is 91.9 on your radio here in Indy. So they're going to air our speakers that talk tonight, as well as our segment where we're going to pick someone out of the audience here and do a live interview on the spot. That's not only going to be shared on our social media networks, but it'll also make the radio station. So make sure that you have your tickets that you got on the way in the door. If you don't have one, just hold your hand up here, and throughout the show, we'll make sure that everyone has it. And you're gonna wanna have those handy because we're gonna read the numbers. And if that number is you, come up in front of our production desk. Ray's gonna hand you a microphone and you'll come on up here, and the interview's going to take place. So I hope you're ready to talk about your business. And the price is right. Yes, it is. And if we're lucky, Deanna just might yell, "Come on down!" So we're going to get to our speakers here in just a second. Before we do, I want to share with you a brand new project that was started by Ray Mills, Mark Light, and Pavithri Kilgore, who they met each other attending our events. So it's all our fault. But they have a brand new project called Life Forward, and we're going to watch the video that they've put together.
One truth I've learned in my 58 years is painful experiences, I mean very ugly, painful things, are inevitable. I've also learned that the very best and most beautiful things that the human experience can offer usually come from the very worst that life dumps on us. See, you've got to make friends with pain. When life's crap shows up, most of us go into that why me model. And worse, we find self-destructive ways of dealing with it, which creates even more pain for ourselves and the people we love. And then the cycle continues.
Disappointment, fear and sadness. You worked so hard to make it, but now it's all been shattered. You've got no strength to get back up again. Your hopes and dreams are all just dust in the wind.
Well, I'm here to tell you that you can turn the very worst that life can shell out into the best gift you've ever received. But the question is how? So we created Life Forward, a place made to help people embrace the pain that's inevitable in life and turn the bad, the sad, and the hard into good, inspire kindness, and build a village of great people who've had major adversity or are currently in very hard times, all working together and truly supporting one another and learning from one another.
Friend, I will be there. I will be there.
This can be a powerful force. First, we're creating online content and ways to help you tell your story. But more important, we're going to host live events, gatherings, workshops, corporate events, and a lot more, all to help people turn painful life experiences into blessings. And we want you to help us build this village and be a part of it. Consume our content, subscribe to our social channels, like us, friend us, repost our content, and attend our events. Realize that the very best relationships come from people with big problems all coming together, being vulnerable together, and sharing ways to use it all to overcome the pain and inspire kindness. We want to hear the story that's inside you, that's valuable to you and can be to so many other people. Reach out to us. Let's hear the story of difficulty and pain that's inside you so we can share it, become part of our village, help us build it, help us build up others, and build up you. Embrace pain, inspire kindness, and together let's move life forward.
Embrace the pain, inspire kindness.
How's that? Is that better? See, I thought it was turned on. Honestly, did I project well enough? Did you hear me in the first place? Honestly, sometimes I don't even think I need the microphone. But I suppose they need the microphone so that it goes to recording. So it's time to invite up our 3-minute speaker, our first speaker tonight. Sharon Schweizer is a licensed, registered biodynamic cranial sacral therapist. That's a whole bunch of words. That's a couple 50-cent words and 25 cents. And she also does somatic movement, and she's a facilitator with that, and she's also a speaker and presenter. You know what else she does? She knows how to do, what's that stuff? Sign language. That's what it is. She also does sign language. She is a multi-talented woman, I'll tell you. With her commitment spanning 6 years, Sharon focuses on promoting holistic well-being. And she does that by harnessing the body's innate healing capacities and capabilities through stillness and gentle movement, like wiggly waves. Well, wiggly waves, she empowers her clients to embrace movements that foster a sense of well-being, enabling their bodies to reset and address various imbalances. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you, off script. I've actually had several treatments from her. And what she does is a gift. If you want to help move your body and your being and your soul through something without having to talk about it, she's your gal. I can't really describe very well what she does because it's so gentle and easy, but I can tell you that it changed my life and a very sad, horrendous Christmas. And I just went through it and breezed right through it with ease. So please put your hands together and welcome Sharon Schweizer.
Thank you. Is this one on? All right. You are an expert at emerging. Emerge. I don't want to just give you a definition. Let's give some examples. There's physical emergence, like a plant popping up through the soil, or a conceptual, scientific new theory being conceived, or something that's emerging economically, like the rise of a new significant industry. I think of AI, but it could be anything. Now, listen, can a plant ungrow? No. Can a new theory be undiscovered? I don't think so. So what about personal emergence? Let's talk about that. Let me share my story, and I know it's one that you can relate to. When I was little, yes, it was a long time ago, I had space to play, freedom to run. If I wanted to, I could even bounce off the walls. It was a happy time without worries or concerns. Are you relating? Great. If you're not relating, stay with me. I think back. I grew, I had all the food I wanted, all the warmth, all the caring, all the love I needed. Then things started to change, slowly at first, and then culminating in a flurry of, what the, insert beep here. Have you ever been in a dark place in your life? Maybe feeling like you're just going in circles, pressure's closing in on you? That's how I felt. I sensed that if I just let out the loudest scream, no one would even hear me. It was like I was in a bubble, unaware of what was going on in the world, just trying to figure it out. Maybe now you're relating. Perhaps you're recalling a situation or situations that you've been through in your life. Enough about you, this is my story. So the pressures increased and the time came. And here's where I know you'll relate. If you look at the picture there. That story happened to each of you before you were born, as well as to me. We all emerged from a pressure cooker situation into a whole new bright world. That makes you an expert. And for that reason, anytime life throws you difficulties, anytime darkness surrounds you, anytime pressure is squeezing in on you, remember you're an expert. And just like a plant can't ungrow and a baby can't return inside its mother, you'll emerge again at the right time and move forward into a whole new adventure.
Okay, we'll do that. So while we're doing that, let me tell you a little bit about Samantha Simpson. She is a dedicated wellness coach, specializing in Bowspring alignment technique to promote holistic healing. She helps individuals overcome low back pain, pelvic floor issues, and achieve a greater confidence in their bodies. Also, she is, through her expertise in movement and posture, she guides her clients to unlock their full potential and live to their fullest. But I'm going to tell you my experience. I actually took my husband for Valentine's and went to one of Samantha's couples classes for the Bowspring, and it was fantastic. But I got to tell you, it was nothing like the yoga you're used to. So if you want to try something new, something interesting, and that's really going to change the way your body moves, I encourage you to give Bowspring with Samantha a try. So, with no further ado, please welcome Samantha Simpson.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you for making this possible, and thank you all for being here and who you are. It takes a very special person to be an entrepreneur, and that creativity inspires me. Have you ever had something in your life that you've passionately believed to be true, and then discovered a new truth that completely turned your life around? I have. I'm Samantha Simpson, and I am a posture and alignment coach. I help people get capable, badass bodies so they can feel confident and be out of pain, and they can use this posture alignment system through their work, exercise, and play. So today I'm going to share with you 2 ways my life was changed by a confounded and controversial posture alignment system called Bowspring. But before I get started, I'm going to share with you a little backstory. So I consider myself a yogi from a young age. In the 80s and 90s, I have been passionately studying yoga postures and yoga philosophy. So naturally, my world was turned upside down when I discovered a radical and supplantive truth in a brand new alignment system called Bowspring. And this alignment system is completely opposite to what I had taught and what I was teaching. The pelvic tilt in this new technology is the first thing I will tell you about. In Bowspring, there is an anterior pelvic tilt, which is so different than the neutral or tucked pelvis that I was teaching and held. From day one, I could feel relief of low back pain and pelvic floor heaviness. Soon, I released abdominal tension that had been causing chronic constipation and IBS. And let me tell you about the mechanical advantage that this pelvic tilt gave me. All right, all of a sudden, I was an athlete that I never knew I was before. I could perform physical labor for longer and not have any pain afterwards. And it gave me an amazing sense of balance. The second thing about this posture alignment that completely changed my life was my daily social interactions. So in this algorithm, the eyes are at the level of the horizon. I made eye contact with people for the first time in my life, and I realized that the world was a much friendlier place when I saw all these people who had been there the whole time waiting for me to look up and smile at them. People treated me differently when I had different posture. As a result, I gained confidence and courage. And I started doing things I never dreamed possible, such as traveling and starting my own business. Regular yoga is great, and just like any exercise, it's going to be helpful. But Bowspring is physiologically superior alignment, and it can be applied to anything. It has amazing benefits, of which I've only shared with you 2. When I discovered the Bowspring, I was not looking to re-emerge myself by recanting my formal philosophy and starting all over after all these years of practice and training. And I certainly had to lose a sense of mastery and start from the beginning. But I'm glad I did, because the change was profound and meaningful. Sometimes we are forced to re-emerge. just recently I broke my ankle figure skating, and I've had to change the way that I teach people, and it's been a process in itself. 8 years ago, I had to reemerge and change the way that I taught philosophically. So if anything I've said tonight really hits true with you, and you want to talk about this, I've got a clipboard. We can do a Zoom session sometime this week. And I want to encourage you, if something resonates with you, even if it goes against what you've been doing, or if the change is something that you fear, I encourage you to go for it, because it just may change your life for good. Thank you.
Here, we're going to share one mic here to keep it simple. There we go. That'll keep everything nice and easy. So what is your name?
Carlee Schnitz.
All right. And Carlee, what do you do professionally? What's your business?
Yeah, so I was in software sales for the last 7 years, but I also own and operate 4 rental properties, and I recently became a nutrition and wellness coach.
Awesome. So rental property and nutrition coach. That's a lot going on. So let's talk about the rental side of it here. What are some of the changes that you've seen in the real estate market, at least from the renting perspective here in the last couple of years?
Yeah, I would say with interest rates going back up, I mean, that's like the hot topic. I would say that it's been easier than ever to find renters because less people are wanting to buy, and honestly, just offering an affordable place that's well kept and being not a scumlord, I tend to find like pretty good tenants, and I love working with them. So yeah, it's kind of a trend that I'm seeing in terms of like the face-to-face with, you know, actually being in the weeds and working with people who need a home to rent.
Nice. And so what brought you to start your nutritional company? So what was that thought process of getting started?
Yeah, so I've always had an interest in health and wellness. It tended towards what I would now recognize as fad diets and sort of over-exercising and maybe causing more stress on my life when my intention was to be healthy, in combination with over-exercising, not eating great, simply due to lack of education, but then on top of that, probably overworking, spending time in a corporate world that's very demanding. I reached what I would now call burnout. And so I really like reshifted the way that I look at wellness and health and went and got certified. And now I teach other people how to prioritize their health, often with busy women and women who are working in a corporate world. And I teach them how to eat well, eat enough, how to treat their bodies kindly and not, you know, pound away in a gym. So something I'm passionate about because it's a journey that I myself experienced.
Awesome. And so for those, since you have 2 organizations that you're working with, let's talk about if someone's interested in rental property, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so luckily I have great tenants who typically stay around, but I'll just post in like local groups to let people know that I have availability. So you know, if you ever do need a place, there's a chance that something's available, or I know when something's coming up. But I manage 4 properties, so I don't have to do a ton of you know, networking outside of just the people I get to meet at things like this. So you can just contact me one-on-one if you have a need. Yeah, and then for my nutrition business, I have a website. It's carleedaniellewellness.com, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. Well, Carlee, thank you so much for being here this evening. Everyone give her a big hand. So thank you. All right. So next up here, cars are great, right? Vroom, 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 until something's wrong. So please welcome John Cannon for the My Car Docs Car Care Tip.
Thanks, Ryan. Now, this is going to date this video a little bit, but who had a great solar eclipse this week? Was that awesome? Is that fantastic? So speaking of solar events, there's another one that happens twice a year, whether you like it or not, and that's daylight savings time. We spring forward and we fall back. Whether you like it or not, that's what we do. So another thing that you can think about for your vehicle is there's also 2 things that you need to do twice a year with your vehicle, and I highly recommend getting it done at daylight savings time simply because That's something that happens twice a year, and this is something that you need to do with your car twice a year. So if these things coincide and line up, you don't have to worry about when was the last time I did it. Because quite frankly, you'd be amazed at how many times I'm working on a vehicle for somebody and I say, hey, when was the last time you did this? And they go, it was a month ago, a couple of months ago, maybe the last time I was here. And then we look in their records and I go, yeah, that was 2 years ago that we did that for you. It happens all the time. Because it's not a very high priority. So one thing that we see a lot of times that we recommend with people with daylight savings time is that you rotate the tires on your vehicle and you change your wiper blades. The reason why we recommend this twice a year is because with all-wheel drive vehicles, your car wears out the tires front and back more in the front. So whenever you rotate them, it makes your tires last longer and your car's going to grip the road better. And then with wiper blades, if you change them in the fall, it's ready for the ice in the wintertime because let's face it, you guys are not scraping your windshields the right way. Or you're doing that little tank thing where you scrape a stripe through there and so that you can just see to get to work and you're white knuckling it the whole way. And then after all that ice tears up your wiper blades, you need to get them ready for the spring because April showers bring May flowers, right? It rains so much in April, we have a saying about it. So twice a year, daylight savings time, whenever you set your clock forward or set your clock back, bring it to me or to your trusted mechanic, have them rotate the tires for you and change your wiper blades and get it. That'll be 2 things that you can do to get it ready for the winter time or ready for the spring. Thanks.
Thank you, John. All right, so I'd like to recognize again our leaders this evening. Give them a big hand. And so a very special thank you to Deanna Moray. So my public speaking has always been shaky at best. And over the last several months, I've been meeting with Deanna and have slowly been less shaky in my public speaking. And so she's done a fantastic job with helping me to figure out what are the great things to say, what are the things I shouldn't talk about, and for the love of God, stop talking monotone. So I'm happy to announce here that in the coming months, Deanna's going to be launching a program to offer other people that same service. So make sure you keep coming back every month because I know that announcement's going to be exciting when she has it ready. But also, let's give a big hand again to the Northside Events and Social Club for hosting us here. Also to our sponsors, KPSK Consulting, John Ciano with U.S. Health Advisors, Carol Blackman, real estate agent in Indiana and Florida, Ardith Waller Bookkeeping, and My Car Doc. Give them all a big hand. And finally, the Tax Advantage, People First HR, and WITT 91.9 FM, Indy's home for unpredictable radio. I kid you not, that's literally their tagline, because you might hear Metallica, followed by folk, followed by world music. It's just a vast variety. So if you love music in general, that's the station for you. So make sure to listen. As we know exactly when this is going to air, we'll fire off an email so all of you tonight can go and listen to it and go, I was there, and maybe tell some people about it so we can help fill up the place next month. So let's give another big hand to Deanna, who's going to come up here and introduce our 10-minute speaker this evening.
All right. How do you guys feel like the speakers are going? Kind of interesting? Kind of fun? Well, I want you to know now we have a really dynamic woman who's going to come up here and speak. I want to introduce Jill O'Boyle. She's an executive coach for high-achieving women who are ready to restore control over their lives. Jill's practical approach to dealing with burnout empowers women to rise up from the ashes of the busy work through individual and group coaching. She's also, she looks at the fact of the matter is, if you have met Jill, you know that she has a deep passion for helping people to know who they are, to learn, to discover the things that we've missed because we're so busy being productive that it's almost like you kind of forget who you are. Am I right? And I think that the value of what she is offering to help overachieving women discover what's going on right inside here, in the heart and in the soul. I think that's more valuable than everything they've been doing being productive. So I would like you to welcome Jill, because I'm excited to hear what she has to say, and I am impressed with what she's doing and the heart and soul that she's bringing to coaching women to finding themselves. Please welcome Jill Boyle.
Well, thank you so much. It's so great to be here, and I'm so excited that you all came out. And so, I don't know about you, but I love this time of year. I love this time of year because, one, it's baseball season, and I absolutely love watching my two boys do what they do on the field. I also love this time of year because it's bonfire weather. And I love a good bonfire. There's just something about getting people together around a bonfire, right? And so I love a good bonfire, but you know what else I love? I love to people watch. I love to people watch. It's so fun. And so the other weekend, we were having a bonfire. We were having a gathering at our house. And I started looking around, and I was like, you know what? There's always 3 types of people that show up at a bonfire every time. And then I started looking at it. I'm like, you know what? These same type of people also show up at our work. And if we're not careful, sometimes these personas, when we fixate them on too much, they lead us to burnout. And so I thought it'd be fun to talk about what are these 3 campfire personas she's talking about? How do they show up in our work? And how are they showing up in your life? All right? You ready for this? All right, so number 1, the first person that's always at a campfire is, of course, the fire starter, right? There's always the fire starter. You got to get the fire going, right? So these are the type of people that show up with full energy, right? They are always ready to get the party started, right? So there are leaders, there are organizers, like you're sitting in their back patio because they are the ones that invited you, right? And every fire starter always has one motto, and that is more is better, right? So they're great multitaskers. They're always staying busy. They're getting people drinks. But you better bet that their eye is on that fire. That fire is not going dim on their watch. No sirree. And so they are adding more, right? They're keeping that log on the fire, adding more logs to make that fire so that everybody can see it, right? That is the fire starter. We love these people in our work. We do. Because they are our go-getters. They're the type of people that take on numerous amount of projects with full energy. They thrive on being in control. And they love to motivate people. They love to rally people around and get them excited about a project. But the fire starters, sometimes as hot as they come in is as hot as they go out sometimes, right? And so they have to be careful. They have to be careful about falling into the fire. Because what they tend to do is they tend to take on too much. They're the type of people that say yes to everything, and they're like, why did I say yes to that? Right? And so they get overwhelmed by the sheer volume of task, and they mentally and physically burn out. But we love the fire starter. I can relate to the fire starter. I can. Okay, number 2 is the smoke chaser, okay? The smoke chaser is at every campfire as well, okay? They're the type of people that show up, and they just can never get settled in. They just keep bebopping from one chair to the next. Why? Because the smoke keeps following them, right? You ever feel like you're that person where she goes, the smoke goes, right? That's the smoke chaser. And in our work, we love these people. We really do. Because they have a gift of tenacity. Smoke chasers have one speed, and that is busy. They are like everywhere. They are never in their office. They are moving from one meeting to the next. You can never find them. They are just constantly busy. But we love that because they have that gift of tenacity. We can count on them. We're like, we don't know what they do, but they are busy and they get it done, right? And so the problem, though, that lies with the smoke chaser is they are so busy being busy that they just never slow down enough to get connected. They don't really know what to do other than complete the task. And so what happens is they tend to burn out because they don't get connected with their peers, they don't get connected with their team, and they're just so focused on getting that thing accomplished. And their peers don't know that, like what they excel in. I gotta hurry up. And then that leaves us, so they burn out, right? They fizzle out. Third person at the campfire is our s'mores connoisseur. Again, you're always gonna have a s'mores connoisseur at your party. They're gonna show up, and they're just gonna show up and tell you that their way is just a little bit better. right? It's just a little bit better. And you're like, dude, it's Friday night. I want to kick back. I want to relax. I want to have a drink. And they're like, I want to tell you how to make a perfect s'more. And you're like, I don't care. I don't even like s'mores. And they're like, well, I'm going to tell you anyway. And so they are the type of people where they're going to say, hey, we need to get rid of the graham cracker, get rid of the chocolate bar. Like, just get yourself a fudge stripe cookie. Chocolate, cookie, all in one, marshmallow, 2 ingredients, better than 3, efficient, perfect, less mess. That's how the s'mores connoisseur works, right? Y'all seen these people in your work. And again, they're good. We like them in our work. You know why? Because they approach work with an eye for efficiency. Efficiency is their game, y'all. So they are like process and improvement all the time. They love to streamline processes. They love to eliminate unnecessary steps. And so we love that in our work, right? So where's the burnout come with these people? The problem lies is they are so fixated on that eye for perfection, right? They tend to burn themselves out based on their own unrealistic expectations that they put on themselves. And so what happens is they end up burning themselves out. They end up having conflict in their work because their peers are like, man, dude, this is never enough for you. It's never good enough. I can never be there. And so I think of the s'mores connoisseur as like process and improvement on steroids sometimes. They are like always up here, and sometimes we just need to be okay with right here, because perfection is not a real thing, right? We can never reach that. And so those are the 3 personas. Maybe you can recognize yourself in some of those. So I just thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about that and bring some humor tonight. And again, like I said, all of these gifts are actually amazing gifts. We need them all in our organizations to thrive. We need that motivator, right? We need that person of tenacity. We need that person that has efficiency. Here's where the problem lies, is when somebody tries to take all those personas and be all of those for everyone. That is when you will fall in the fire. And that's exactly what happened to me. 6 years ago, I was trying to carry all these personas around. And I definitely relate to the fire starter where my mindset said, more is better. Success equals more. And so I started to believe the lies that our society, I think, value, and which is the lies of the need for speed, image, busyness, perfection. And as a result of that, I got consumed by that. And I started to prioritize projects over people. I started to push my marriage and family and friendships away. And I started to numb my stress level with more and more and more alcohol. To the point that I was just a hot mess, y'all. I was a hot mess. I was burned out. But out here, I was good. Everything was good. I was fine. I got it. All under control. But inside, my fire was going dim fast. My spark, my joy. I was craving another way to live. I wanted to live a life that was more connected, purposeful, intentional, meaning. But with the smoke so thick, stress so high, carrying all of these personas around and trying to do everything on my own, I hit a rock bottom moment in my life. And I remember standing there in that moment 6 years ago and feeling like a complete pile of ashes. 6 years ago, I could not see any beauty forming in this mess of a life that I created. But I stand here today as a testimony to tell you that there is purpose in your pain, friends. That you might be sitting here today and life feels heavy and really, really hard. And you are feeling the weight of the endless demands. You are feeling the weight of burnout creeping in, and all these personas are ringing true to you. And so I tell you this today, that I don't have enough time, actually, to tell you all of this today, of how I combated burnout and am thriving now. I can't tell you all of that right now, but I can leave you with this one important piece of advice, and that is, whatever you are not changing, you're choosing, right? So take a look around this room tonight and applaud yourself for showing up tonight, because this is called community and connection. And if you want to emerge and you want to get out of the fire that you are under, it's time to ask for help. We cannot go it alone, okay? So I ask you tonight to get connected with people. Remember who you are. Understand what gifts you have inside that you were born with that make you thrive, and delegate the rest. Because for far too long, I took that I got this path. I don't need your help path. And that led me straight to the chorus of a famous ACD song that I think most of you all know. I was on the highway to you know what, right? So I ask today that you know who you are, learn your gifts and what makes you thrive. And I would love to meet and talk to each and every one of you tonight if there's time. And I just thank you so much for this time and opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill. So, all right, let's talk about some more events that we have coming up. But before, let's give all three of our speakers this evening another big hand. I'm happy to share with you that next month we'll be here again on Wednesday, May 8th, and our theme is adventure. So we got 3 speakers that'll be here to share their stories of what adventure means to them. Some other events that I'd like to share. This Friday, April 12th, is our next business spotlight. And that's at the Sagamore Club in Noblesville, Indiana. And the great thing about this networking event is if you already registered, your information is included in a paper booklet that everyone gets when they arrive. And everyone in the room gets the microphone for 45 seconds. And for that time, they can share anything they would like about their business. Who do you need to meet? Is there any organization that you're trying to get introductions to? Maybe you just want to share something new and exciting that's happening in your business. You can share any of that you want in that time that you have. But at the end of 45 seconds, just like we did here tonight, everyone claps at the end of your time, and it's on to the next person. So doors open at 11 o'clock a.m. There's barbecue served for lunch for that event, and it is at the Sagamore Club in Noblesville. On Thursday, April 18th, we have our next Marketing Inspiration Group meeting, and that happens at our office just down the street here near 55th and Keystone at 10 o'clock a.m. That is a small format network group where we share ideas on how everyone can walk out the door with more effective marketing techniques and strategies for their business. And then on Friday, April 19th, we launched a business spotlight in Greenwood at 8 o'clock in the morning at the Greenwood Community Center. So if you are an early riser, join us. That event is growing, and we hope that as we continue throughout the year, it will continue growing. All right, what else do we have here? Let's get our next slide. Business First Networking on April 24th, 10 o'clock a.m. And Wednesday, May 1st, we are teaming up with Rotary District 6560. I'm a proud Rotarian, and I love finding every opportunity I can to share why Rotary is this great organization and folks should be involved. And so we're teaming up to put on a networking event right here on Wednesday, May 1st from 3 to 6 p.m. called Connect the Community. And so that is an open format, casual open house style networking event where we draw door prizes every 30 minutes. And just like our Business Spotlight event, if you register in advance, you can have your information included in the booklet that everyone gets. And I promise this is the last event I'm going to share. Thursday, May 2nd is our next Keystone Business Connections meeting, and that's at the old National Bank up on 96th Street. So I'm going to leave those off, since if you got your copy of the INSPIREsmall.biz magazine this evening, the back inside cover has our full calendar of events. So please check them out, INSPIREsmall.biz/events. That page will show you all of the things that we're hosting as well as what all of our members are. And remember, register for the Bright Ideas Show in advance next month. INSPIREsmall.biz members are able to attend for free. If you register in advance, it is just $10 if you are not a member yet, and at the door is $15. So if you want to be here next month, if you know you're going to be here next month, register today. And if you're a business builder member with INSPIREsmall.biz, you can also bring a friend. And if you are a local connector member, you can bring a lot of friends with you. So everyone, thank you very much for coming to the event this evening. Thank you for being patient as we figure out how to execute a good event, because we want to make sure that when you walk out of this door this evening, you've not only felt like you spent your time valuably, but it's something that you want to share with people and not in the way of, oh my God. No, we want it to be in a good way where you want to come back. So if you haven't yet, make sure you set a follow-up meeting with someone that you've met here in this room tonight. Networking events of any kind with any organization are not effective if we're not setting those follow-ups. So thank you very much. And I'd like to ask all of our speakers this evening to come up here. We're going to get a group photo to post on social media. So have a great night, guys.